Greetings, everybody, and we back at you here at Railroad Nail Boxing Talk. And like we say here at Railroad Nail Boxing Talk, we don't just praise fighters with pretty records. We praise all fighters that get in the ring and fight hard. You could be 15-6, 13-0, or 34-24. If you get in the ring, if you fight hard and give it your all, you get the crowd on their feet, your light will shine here at Railroad Nail Boxing Talk. I talk boxing and I want to talk some more boxing today. And I can't talk about fights because boxing is in the state where it ain't a lot of fights going on. So let's just talk about what's going on in boxing. I got a question to ask Railroad Nail boxing fans. Are boxers today too soft? I mean, it's like every time I look on boxing news and I see a boxer that done took a loss or done got knocked out in the gym or whatever, it's like they going through mental problems. They got to go through changes. They want to commit suicide. What's going on? What's the fabric of these boxers nowadays? And I'm going to name a few boxers and I'm going to name a few fights today about situations that was going on. Now, let's take Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos. And now, personally, I've seen Teofimo Lopez dominate a lot of fighters. I personally thought this was his best fight. He impressed me this fight more than he did in any of his fights. I mean, he came out aggressive. I thought he won the fight, though. I'm going to be honest with you. From Railroad Nail Boxing Talk point of view, I thought Teofimo Lopez won that fight. I thought he put the pressure on. But let me just keep the subject going on because I talk boxing all night. He gets dropped in the first round. He gets up, come back the next round and put the pressure on. He ended up dropping the man that dropped him. Now, we all know he didn't get the decision, right? Okay. But after the fight, he flipped out. He making up all these excuses. We thought it was going to be a rematch, and then he go into mental problems. All because of taking a loss. Well, let me let you know something, Teofimo. If you had just took that win, because see, you gained a fan in me. You didn't too much impress me with all the... Now, you impressed me with the Lomachenko fight. But I thought you could have put the pressure on and knocked Lomachenko out. You was a little timid in that fight. But you impressed me in the Kambosos fight. Man, you should have took that one. That was your fight to build you. There was nothing wrong with a loss like that. That was a good loss. Just take it. Another fight. Let's go to another fight. Because I don't like to keep you too long. You don't know me that well. So I'm going to go on and keep it going. Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton Jr. That was a hell of a fight. Another hell of a fight. If you want to watch a good fight, watch that fight. All Stephen Fulton Jr. fights are good. He's a technician, and he is the technician in the game. Now, Brandon Figueroa comes out. It was a close fight. It was a good fight. And somebody told, I don't know whether it was his father or somebody told Brandon Figueroa something that he needed to remember in that fight. You got a style for the ages. Now, okay, we all know that Stephen Fulton Jr. won the fight, and he did win the fight. Technically, he did win that fight. Brandon Figueroa got a hell of a style, though. That style you got to where you use your shoulder and you push guys up against it. That's a hell of a style. See, this is the thing. A lot of these boxers don't know boxing history. You can lose a fight or two, but you got the type of style, Figueroa, that fighters are going to watch you on YouTube once you're done. You got that kind of style. You got the type of style that fighters with your body makeup, long, lanky, a lot of those fighters don't fight as good as you do. They don't have that success. You got a style. Now, he beat you. The technician did beat you. But you should have took that loss on the chin because you gained me as a fan that night. I put you on the Railroad Nail Boxing Talk list that night. Now, my site wasn't up then. I was a talker. And as you can see, I love talking boxing. But you beat yourself when you don't take us. You didn't lose that night. You lost the fight, but you gained a lot of fans that night. This is what I believe. I believe a lot of these fighters are not doing their boxing history. Michel Rivera. Now, it seems like to me you wasn't taking your loss against Frank Martin too well. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something like this here. The fact that you had the guts to take that fight, I was impressed at that. Because a lot of fighters ain't doing that nowadays. We all know. You too, Frank Martin. You too. I mean, I'm not going to leave. We praise the fighters with the pretty records too. If you get out there and fight hard, you fought. You listen to your trainer, you fought. It was good for boxing. That fight was good for boxing no matter whether you lost or not, Rivera. You got good fighting hard. The thing is to come back fighting. I'm going to give y'all a fight. A lot of these fighters don't know boxing history. Study one of the Railroad Nail top 3 fighters in time is Iran Barkley. I got Iran Barkley rated at I know it's a lot of fighters a lot of people got their top 5, but Iran Barkley is a Railroad Nail type fighter. He took losses, he took wins, but in the words of Iran Barkley, when you fight, you don't know if you're good or you fight the best. Fighting is about fighting the best to see if you're the best. Now, I can't quote him exactly, but those were his words, and that was his attitude. Barkley fought. Yeah, he took some losses. James Toney beat him up, but he fought. Michael Nunn beat him up. Those guys are elite fighters, man. You can't be mad about losing against James Toney and Michael Nunn. Come on, man. Now, he did beat another elite fighter in Thomas Hearns twice. But it's his attitude to have people like me, fans like me, and other fans that watch Iran Barkley over and over again on YouTube. His spirit ain't gonna never die in boxing, man. Iran the Blade Barkley. Let's take James Toney, for example. James Toney is another Hall of Fame fighter who took a couple of losses. But hey, man, Toney got a style that's gonna... Listen to this, Brandon Figueroa. You don't have James Toney style, but see, sometimes you have a style people like. James Toney got a style that's going to be watched for a long time. Boxing fans ain't going to stop watching James Toney. Yeah, he took some losses. You didn't see him crying, talking about, come on, man. I don't believe boxers are getting into history nowadays. Listen, any subject you go into, if you go into science, if you go into civics or psychology or whatever the subject is, they teach you the history of it first. I think some of y'all boxers getting in the ring, just going to the gym, and y'all history go back to Mayweather. And a lot of y'all don't know Mayweather's history because Mayweather actually defeated some knockout artists. Mayweather impressed me when he defeated Diego Corrales, because that's the fight that I thought, I didn't know if Mayweather was going to win that fight. He impressed me. He fought with the odds against him that night. Really, I knew about Emmanuel Augustus before Mayweather fought him. I didn't think Mayweather was going to do what he did against Augustus, because Augustus, really, if he was the type of fighter that liked to put on a show, but if he concentrated, I feel like he could beat anybody. Floyd had to dig down and beat him. I knew that was Floyd's hardest fight before he said it. People that know me know I was saying that long before Floyd said it. See, and another thing y'all need to learn and y'all don't know, Floyd Mayweather took rematches. If the fans thought that a fighter beat Floyd, he took the rematch. So come on, man, y'all got to do boxing history. Y'all see the flash, y'all see the no losses, y'all, it's something wrong. Something going on. Trainers, they need to sit down and take boxing classes. Study this. I remember watching the Hall of Fame last year in 2022, and Mike Tyson was at the Hall of Fame. They was walking around. It was a couple of guys in suits, behind white guys in suits behind Mike Tyson, and they looked like they might have knew boxing. They were calling out. But if you look at Mike knew every boxer on that wall that can tell you the history of them. Mike wasn't just no. See, people think Mike was just in the ring swinging. Mike knew boxing history. It means something when you get in that ring. And I think that's missing in a lot of these boxers. Because they think their career over with when they take a loss, man. Listen, I was a street fighter. And I was known for knocking a lot of guys out. But my daddy told me, don't think you're going to win all the fights. Don't think you're going to win all the time now. You got to win some and lose some. I lost my next fight. Guy beat me up, gave me a black eye. Now, I wore my black eye with pride because I wouldn't got that guy back. But I had to take that loss. People was used to seeing me win. I had to take that loss. But by my father telling me that, I was prepared. I had it on my mind. I don't know how he knew I was going to lose my next fight. But he prepared me for that loss. Now, I ain't saying that a trainer got to train you to take a loss, but if you know boxing history, you'll know that fighters still are great. Even great fighters took losses. I don't like to keep it that long because I will talk all night. But as we say here at Red Road Nail Boxing Talk, we don't just praise fighters with pretty records. You could be 25-13. You could be 20-0. Or you can be 15-3. If you get in the ring and you give it your all, and you impress the fans and get the fans on their feet, your light will shine here at Red Road Nail Boxing Talk. We out.